It's pretty much then a divided hill. Solange Mougins has been taking a closer look at those numbers of the key races for us. Solange, it hasn't been a huge blue wave as what had been hoped by many Democrats. It looks like, however, they will get the House.
Yeah, and this was a big and sort of necessary, important win for the Democrats. It's the kind of thing that they needed to be able to sort of hold their heads up high today. The big number before the election was 23. They needed 23 seats to win a majority. Well, tonight they could win as many as 35 seats. So that's a big plus for them. So far, they've won key House seats in Florida. As you can see there on the pie chart, they're on their way to winning it. They've won House seats in Florida, Pennsylvania, Minnesota. These are places that voted strongly for Trump, sometime in the double digits. So you could say that this is sort of potentially a vote against Trump of people on the local House level saying that he has gone too far. Now, what does this mean for Trump himself? And what does it mean for the Democrats in the House? Well, they will now hold the power of one branch of government. Before, they didn't hold the power in any branches of government. So they'll have more oversight on judicial hearings in regard to Trump. They'll have subpoena power of records. They'll be able to look into his bank accounts and potentially subpoena tax filings and such, which means, perhaps I'm going too far, but the I word could be on the table. I being impeachment. Now, that doesn't mean that they'll do it because impeachment doesn't mean removal, but it could be in the cards.
And of course, impeachment it needs a two-thirds majority of the Senate, and over in the Senate, it's a tough night for the Democrats. Republican really keeping a hold there.
Yeah, they don't have it, and they are not going to get it. Mathematically, it was going to be very difficult for the Democrats to win the Senate, and they have not won it. The GOP has taken it. So that's a big win for the Republicans and for Trump. One of the most watched races was Texas. It went to a Republican, Ted Cruz, who beat out Beto O'Rourke by a very small margin, but there they are. Now, this is a big disappointment for a lot of Democrats in the state and in the nation, as it was a nationally watched race. It was one of the closest races as well. Many people thought Beto O'Rourke could be the next Kennedy. Perhaps he may still run for a president,
in 2 years' time.
Yeah, exactly. But why did he lose in Texas? Well, Texas is a big red state. It hasn't elected a Democrat to the Senate in decades. And it's important to note, too, that this was a very expensive race. With two-thirds of the over $100 million in funds were raised for O'Rourke. So there are a lot of people who are disappointed about that as well. But again, Texas is red, and some predicted that O'Rourke long ago that he wasn't going to win because he didn't go far enough to the center to try and sort of win over middle of the ground Republican centrists. Let's take a look at another state as well, North Dakota. It is another loss for Democrats. This was another, there they are. This was another tight race. It went to Kevin Cramer, who beat out standing Senator and Democrat Heidi Heitkamp. Again, North Dakota, big red state that voted in double digits for Trump. Although Heidi Heitkamp is a seasoned politician, but she just couldn't hold on to her seat, and it's thought that one of the reasons that she didn't win was because she came out against Brett Kavanaugh. She's a Democrat. She came out against Brett Kavanaugh during the Supreme Court hearing, in a very personal manner. Now, the Kavanaugh issue was potentially also at play in West Virginia. West Virginia went to Joe Manchin. He's a Democrat. He's the sole Democrat who voted for Kavanaugh, and he managed to beat back Democratic the challenger Patrick Morrisey to win a second term.
Okay, interesting results there. I mean.